morning. Mouth wide open like they yawning. Every time they see me.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Tom Ritchie, and this is Woodstock. Joining me for today's episode is Ryan O'Shea, head instructor and owner of Woodstock and Stratford Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academies. Coach Ryan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm tired and sticky and sweaty from the training session I just came from, but great.
It's funny. I was thinking about the pre-show and what I'm going to say, and I'm like, I think you're the only guest that's kind of made me air quote a little nervous, because depending on how this interview goes, you could make my life a living hell on the mats.
Yeah, you can always choose not to show up, but I don't think you're that kind of a guy. So
yeah, I'm just going to avoid Ryan for like a month. And of course, you know, all the masters in the program with me that we have this group chat with, they'll get caught in the crossfire as well. So, you know, 100 burpees today because Tom sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan, let's first start, if we could, in your words, because I don't have anyone else here. Who is Ryan O'Shea?
I guess primarily I'm a dad and a husband, a small business owner, and then I guess how most people know me is I'm Ryan. I'm Coach Ryan. That's how a lot of the kids know me. It's funny to see them out on the street when I bump into them shopping and whatnot.
Yeah,
they don't know how to handle themselves. And they're like, you're wearing normal people clothes.
Yeah, wait, you don't wear gi all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, it's funny. We've gotten to know each other a little over a year now. I think I started in second class when you opened in Woodstock. But you're my coach, right? You're younger than me, but you're my coach. There's so much respect for you. And it's like, how do you manage that type of a relationship? So that's cool. I mean, everyone sees you as a coach, but at the end of the day, again, as you say, you're a father, you're a husband, you're a small business owner. Although business seems to be booming, it seems like there's a lot of people taking interest in jiu-jitsu these days, which is good.
Yeah, I mean the support from Woodstock has been phenomenal. You know, we filled a gap for sure. You know, there was a couple really good spots that were there before, and like a lot of small businesses, COVID just shut everything down. Like we barely survived, but you know, Stratford was kind of capped and doing its thing, and I was ready for another challenge, and I thought Woodstock would be a great spot to go to.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that a little bit more, and understanding the economics behind running a jiu-jitsu club and what that was like, how you suffered through COVID. You know, I've gone back and watched as many videos as I can, still trying to get through some of the curriculum stuff. But I mean, you were doing stuff during that time with your daughter, and that was pretty cool. But let me ask you this, Ryan, when did martial arts first enter your life?
Probably the first time I watched Dragon Ball. I was, okay. Yeah, I seeked that. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like this idea of like being young and finding a master and training really hard and competing in a tournament, and just I thought martial arts was magic. And I know I have a quote that is the complete opposite these days. But yeah, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So I started with karate when I was I don't know how old. I was in elementary school, and I did that for a while, and then like I popped into a boxing gym for a bit. Wasn't able to like pay for the membership there or anything, and I couldn't do like karate and boxing, but stuck with the karate for a little bit, and then did other things. My upbringing, like, so I was born in, I don't know if you're familiar with Parkdale, Toronto.
Okay. Yeah.
Queen West, as they call it now.
Okay.
And I went to school there, but I was basically brought up at my cottage. My parents made a decision, instead of team sports, we would go up north every week. And so like every long weekend, every weekend in the summertime, long weekends, even in the wintertime. So like I did the extreme sport thing. So because I never had that team sport aspect in my life, like I sought out sport through these individual acts, and martial arts, just I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember back to my formidable days. You know, the Goju-Ryu karate it was much different than jiu-jitsu today. A little bit of grappling. Not near, certainly not as much sweating. And I'll get into asking questions that some of the guys, the masters, were curious about is about like, why is there no air conditioning? No,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
hold on
When
to
does Ryan
hold,
turn that on?
yeah.
Yeah.
I have noticed it come on, so you must just have an upper limit switch of okay, these guys are going to die. Maybe we should cool them down a little bit.
Yeah.
So what approximate what age? So you're elementary school. You fast forward. When did you get involved with jiu-jitsu or Brazilian jiu-jitsu specifically?
So I was in high school, and like I desperately wanted to get back into martial arts, but I
Mhm.
knew the karate style that I did, like it was this like it was called Go Rindo. It's a 5 circle way. He
Okay.
basically combined like Shotokan karate, Taekwondo, Savate, which is like a French
Mm.
kickboxing style,
Okay.
um, and some like jujitsu as well, like traditional jujitsu.
Mhm.
And like we didn't spar though. I was only allowed to spar with the sensei, the coach,
Yep.
and that was the most fun part to me. So that's why I stopped, because I just like I don't actually get to do the thing. I'm only doing
Mhm.
katas, and which like I still like learning, but I didn't have that competitive side that was like that itch wasn't getting scratched.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ended up stopping. You go to high school and whatnot, but I still always had it in the background. Like, and then I was at my I was trying to determine like what is the best martial art. Like I'm like, what I want to do a martial art again, but I want to do the best one.
Mhm.
Like, and you always think, again, going back to anime, like my style versus your style, and or
Yeah.
kung
Yeah.
fu movies, even, like that was always a theme. And like I had some friends that are in high school that did, taekwondo. Some did like kung fu, and there's a guy that boxed a little bit that was there, but I never really had that much of an affinity towards them. And
Mhm.
then I was at my cottage and I was hanging out with my neighbors were quite a bit older than me. They probably wouldn't appreciate me saying that, but I was the younger brother,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was just saying, like, I was talking to them about fighting and martial arts, and they're like, well, why don't you watch the UFC? Like, it's literally
Mm.
what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, they basically just turned me on to it, and I started watching the UFCs like on online. And the era was what was it, LimeWire?
Okay.
So like, I probably broke my computer a couple times downloading stuff off the internet. I think I killed a few computers for sure. Um, you download that like an instructional or like an event, and it'd take 5 days
Yeah.
to download. um but anyways, and then that's how I found jiu-jitsu, because I was like, and it
Mm.
just immediately made sense to me, because I was always like more naturally a grappler. Like I like to grab
Yeah.
people and control them. I didn't like punching people in the face. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oddly
Yeah.
enough, I'm okay with kicking people in the head, but punching people in the face was weird for me. But I loved grappling, and that, so I found Hoist Gracie, and
I was just
then I
gonna
started
ask, Hoist
downloading.
Gracie have any influence on that or?
Yeah, and then again, downloading videos of like just street fights, and this versus that,
Mhm.
um I'm like, I've got to learn jujitsu. And then I googled it, and there was Toronto BJJ, which had just like rebranded itself. It was up
Okay.
in Steeles and Weston Road, so
Mhm.
like it was like took me an hour to drive up there.
That's a ways, yeah, from Buckeye,
um
yeah.
yeah, and yeah, so I just started training immediately, but I had already been training like with those instructional videos. Like my favorite
Yeah.
one was this Bass Rutten
Oh.
grappling. And today I still teach one of the techniques that
Oh,
I
yeah?
saw off that. Yeah.
I only ever
Yeah.
did so Boss Root and he used to have instructionals. I had an audio tape, and so this is
Yeah.
dating me, right? But it was a cassette tape, I think, even wearing headphones at a heavy bag, and he'd just call out the
Yeah.
routines. That would put a sweat on for sure. I remember those days for sure. But so so you say that Toronto BJJ had just rebranded. Was it George Brito at the time, or
No,
did he take
George
over?
George came in years later.
Okay.
So I forget what it was originally called. So the owner of Toronto BJJ basically came in and saved I don't want to say save the gym, but like whatever the situation was at that point, he
Hmm.
came in and he's like, listen, like, I just want to keep training, because he picked it up in like going to York or something.
Okay.
He tried out like one of the clubs there.
Hmm.
And then he found this gym, and basically like I want to keep training, so I'm going to invest money into keeping the gym going
Yeah.
and pay for some coaching, and I just want to train. And then he pretty much quickly realized like you can't do that and not actually like run it as a business.
Hmm.
So then he kind of went full in and basically hired like the best coaches available.
Okay.
So at the time, like I had a gym that was right at the top of my street, like right at the top of Sororn,
Hmm.
and it was run by like I think he was a purple belt at the time, but that would have been easy for me to get to. I could have walked to it basically.
Right. Right.
And but Toronto BJJ had Wagner Fabiano, his brother Leo Santos,
Mhm.
Mark Bocek was there, and then like a handful of these other like brown belts, so that were like competing in ADCC and like winning and
Yeah. Yeah.
whatnot. Like Carlos Newton came out there quite a few times. Like
Wow.
so Wagner is like kind of like an OG. Like him and Fabio Holando were like one of the first like real like jiu-jitsu guys on the East Coast,
Hmm.
East Coast Central. And like if you Google who Wagner is, like he was like an absolute beast, like
Okay.
one of the best guys in the world for a long time. His brother Leo, essentially like was like the top guy at lightweight for the was the equivalent of the IBJJF. There used to be like two brands that were kind of competing for like what was like the legitimate world championships.
Okay. Yeah.
The IBJJF ended up taking over and winning, but
Mhm.
Leo, like it was very political. Like you had to kind of choose. You
Yeah.
couldn't compete in one and not the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But just super high level guys. Mark Bocek is like one of the first like Canadian black belts, like legit, like
Okay.
not just a guy, like an athlete. I think he fought in the UFC too. And
Oh wow.
um,
Okay.
anyway, so I had to go there. That was
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah. Yeah. Did you research
uh,
it? And how long were you
yeah
there for?
uh basically 10 years. So
Oh
when
wow.
I joined there, he they were in the process of being like, okay, this little like it was like old school gym, like it's a garage,
Mm.
and like this little unit with no windows and small mat space, and then they were in the process already of opening up the Toronto BJJ that exists today, which is at Bloor and Christie.
Hmm.
And then so that I was like, sweet, I'm just gonna like train here until that place is open, and then I'll go there. So I was like one of the first members that
Oh cool.
was there at that downtown location, and yeah, that's where I was. And within, I think Josh hired me just to be like, you know, let's just call it a gym rat. I would
Hmm.
go mat bitch is probably the other way of going about it, but just to like clean the mats. And like
Yeah.
I think the first thing I ever did was like I sat in like a unheated section of like what is now the front lobby to sell like merchandise like during Christmas.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just sat there like shaking. um yeah, and yeah, we used to just be the top floor, and there's a restaurant downstairs, and then we
Oh
ended up
wow.
renovating the basement into like a changing room area, and then eventually the restaurant was gone, and then then we had two floors. I did a lot of those renovations myself, actually. Like I
Yeah.
was one of the few competent people there that could actually swing a hammer or just make
Hmm.
it work.
Yep.
And then yeah, I just taught more and more and more and more and competed. And so basically from I think when I was 18, I was like hired there essentially full time. And
Okay.
I've been doing jujitsu for 20 years or more,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
So
as my full time job.
was it during that time though that you were, because obviously you're close to it, gym rat. We use gym
Yeah.
rat.
Yeah.
Was it during that time you're like, I really see myself owning my own academy in the future? This is what I want
No,
to do. It wasn't. So what was
no.
that? Where was that epiphany moment of this is really what I need to do? And what were you doing before that?
Well, I was working at the gym, and when you live at home and you just train, did like school and training, and then eventually just pure training.
Hmm.
My grandmother actually really, my parents, rightfully were really pushing me, like, you got to start thinking about your future. Like,
Yeah.
you got to get a trade, which, in hindsight is was pretty good advice.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely wasn't the university type, that's for sure,
Hmm.
which is the case with a lot of martial artist in some capacity. But she like, you know, German, and she's like, there's this, like, she's like, he's a sportsman, it's fine. Like in Europe, there's this category of person where it's like, no, you can just pursue sport,
Mm,
and your country backs you. I
right.
mean, realistically, I think we only have that here for hockey, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
still like that's still like a parental driven thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
But in Europe, it's like, you know, like you get sponsored if you're good and you're putting the time in. You have to do these things, like you actually get like supported by the government
Yeah.
to do sport. You know, to excel in something, go to the Olympics.
Hmm.
Um, that, you know, jiu-jitsu wasn't the same, but she really is like, he's fine. He's young. He loves it. It's giving him purpose. Just do that.
Yeah.
So that went a really long way to kind of get my mom off my back.
So at what point though so you hung in Toronto for a certain amount of time, you make
Yeah.
your way to Stratford. When did you eventually migrate to Stratford?
So right after I got married. So the question you had asked earlier is like, when did I determine that I was like, I could do this as a business?
Yeah.
Because like for me, I was like, all I cared about was training and competing. And um I really love teaching. Like I did really enjoy it, but
Yeah.
like the level above me was so high, like with George and all the other guys, like I didn't really see that as like I'm like, how could I ever like take their job, or not even take
Right.
their job, but like where, like, how does
Do
that
what they're
work? And
doing. Yeah.
especially at
Yeah.
the time, like you can't be a gringo and be the head instructor of a
Yeah.
gym. It's impossible, right? Like, you know, you
Yeah.
can just, at the very best, you can have like your couple classes you teach
Right.
and do that. Or again, you know, I didn't realize that martial arts in general was actually like a valid business, even though I was being paid by it
Yeah. Yeah.
already. You're
Yeah.
working there. It just didn't compute. Um, so a lot of guys that were, and this is like, no, like they were just in a different path of their life, and they were just utilizing the gym in a different capacity than I was.
Hmm.
But I was like very much so all in, and I never liked doing like a half-assed job at anything. So, you know, like whether it was cleaning toilets or cleaning the mats or fixing something, I was like, I always did it to the best of my ability. And
Hmm.
if I was being paid to be there, I was working.
Right.
Um, and a lot of the other guys, it was like, you know, like they were, you know, bartending at night, or they were doing other things. So it was more just like a fun kind of like side gig for them.
Hmm.
So even though I was the young guy, I started to like basically be relied on more and more, whether that was teaching or more operationally. And then eventually just like I effectively became the operational manager of Toronto BJJ for
Okay.
years.
Yep.
Um, because again, like no one was stepping up,
Hmm.
and they needed that aspect. And I found a competency in that, like
Yeah.
actually running the day to day, and like even just paying bills, um, and then again,
The
like organizing.
business economics are something that need to apply there too. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, in a lot of cases, like, you know, I didn't, I probably wasn't the right person for a lot of those jobs, but you know, I'm happy for being given the opportunity. And like, I can't thank Josh enough for like, giving me those opportunities, and
Hmm.
also, uh, like trusting me to take a chance on like the young guy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in general, it's just like, I work hard, and you know, I think I brought a lot of value on all sides. Like I could teach, I was a good competitor. I trained all the time,
Hmm.
and again, I could do you know, all the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So you end up in Stratford with your wife. How long were you there when you're like, did you go to Stratford to open a club? What drew you to Stratford originally?
So my wife, Alex, her family had a hobby farm in St. Mary's,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's, it burns me to this day, but one of my students actually owns it now. And,
Oh.
yeah. And he's also good at jujitsu, which just drives me nuts. Um, so I can't even beat him up. Um, so it was this 100-acre property, like, you
Is
know,
it Greg?
sorry,
It's not Greg, is
no,
it? Oh, okay.
a
I'm
different
thinking
guy.
Greg was
I
doing
won't put
some
his name
farming.
out there.
Okay.
But it was a 100-acre property. 90 acres of it is wooded.
Yeah.
just
Wow.
just down the road from St. Mary's. Like, I mean, like the suburbs are going to grow into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just a really special property,
Okay.
and we were there all the time. I lived there for the first 6 months
Hmm.
when I opened Stratford. So it was just this magical place. So we the idea was like, hey, we want to, like, I never wanted to live in the city. I wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking like Thunder Bay originally. Like I really
Okay.
wanted to get away.
Thunder Bay. Yeah.
um,
Thunder Bay's booming. You're probably glad you didn't go there.
yeah. Like my original plan, like I really wanted to join the military, and I was very, very, very close to
Hmm.
when I was a brown belt. But I was dating my now wife at the time, and she didn't give me an ultimatum, but she basically said like, I'm not saying like we're gonna break up, but I'm also not moving to a base. I don't see
Oh
myself
yeah.
doing that. Like she worked in television and was like, doing this like, high power like lady job, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
very, very professional and
Yeah. You're not
hardworking and
dragging me
everything
into an
else.
army base.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So and fair enough. So like my plan was to open a gym, but after,
Right.
I wanted to do the military thing first. If I didn't reach the goals that I had, then
Mhm.
I would do it sooner. If I did, I'd stay in. Yada yada.
Sure.
So for me, then eventually I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna skip a step. I'm gonna go straight to the gym.
Yeah.
And then because we were going to St. Mary's all the time, we were stopping in Stratford, and it was kind of perfect. There was no gym there.
Yeah.
There was a Muay Thai gym, MMA gym, but like in the period of me deciding to open up in Stratford, it had like closed and then exchanged hands, rebranded, reopened. So
Okay.
like 3 months or something before I was going to open, they reopened under like new ownership, and like one of the students bought it from the other guy.
Oh.
Um, so I was like, oh shit, and then they saw we were opening. So we had this kind of not I wouldn't say competitive, it's just business, but like, he started a jiu-jitsu program, and like I had a kickboxing program, and we
Mm.
were like trying to like do our thing. And now he just does Muay Thai and I just do
Right.
just do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And like I think we're both a lot happier for it, because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think neither of us like the other sport anyways. But
Yeah.
um yeah.
Well, that's cool though. So, I
Mm.
mean, and now you own two. I mean, so you operate Stratford. How long were you operating Stratford before you opened Woodstock? Was it almost a decade, wasn't it?
It was over a decade, yeah.
Over a decade. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
because
you've got.
we're just over 13 years, I
Oh
think, in
wow.
Stratford now,
Okay.
and we have been a year and a bit now in Woodstock.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. A little over a year. Yeah.
yeah,
So operating, two, obviously, we're glad you came to Woodstock. I think that you had some members probably at one point that were attending Stratford. I know I had thought about it with Ashton as he was growing up. And there was, I want to talk about this a little bit later, but, the intimidation factor where people see, a jujitsu club and they think, oh, they're just full of big thugs that are going to beat me up all the time. And I don't really want to go in there. I've heard Tom Hardy explain
yeah,
his story about joining jujitsu. So probably similar. But first, again, I just want to get into how Woodstock came to be. Um, well, let's just go there first. How did
sure.
Woodstock come to be? Did you see the void? Was it, jujitsu's growing as a, air quote sport? I know it's a sport, but another
Mm,
question would be, competitive side versus sport jujitsu and traditional. But
mm.
how did Woodstock come to be? What was that moment where you're like, yeah, we've got to do this. We need to find a place to do this.
Yeah, I mean, so a big thing is that like Stratford is just not growing. Like
Mm,
it is, like, I mean, we just did the census. I'm really curious to see what the numbers are, but as
yeah.
someone who's lived here now for over a decade, like the only people that I see moving to town are like 65.
Okay. Okay.
And it is like, I was just talking to a student about this today, and it's like Stratford's like a magnifying glass, I think, for like all of Canada. Like it's like
Hmm.
this, like, again, it's an aging population without a lot of opportunity for young people. Like, so Stratford, like I have kids like that, like started with 4 years old,
Hmm.
and then they get to their teens, and then they're like, I have to move. Like
Right.
they're either to get work, or to build a career, or to go to school. They
Hmm.
have to leave.
Yeah.
There's no options. And um, I don't see that changing. And
Hmm.
then right now, were the people that were moving that would be clientels, are like the guys that are like, 35, 40, 45, that are moving from some of the bigger cities into Stratford. And that kind of happened during COVID more,
Right.
like
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
housing and whatnot. but they had all like established a career somehow and were now working remotely in a lot of cases. And it's just not viable anymore. Like
Mhm.
people are losing their remote jobs. And
Right.
then if you're in any of those positions, like AI is taking over a lot of those
Mhm.
positions
Yep.
too. So um, for Stratford, I was kind of seeing like the writing on the wall a little bit. I'm like, okay,
Okay.
we'll always have this kids program. Like
Yep.
hopefully there'll always be kids.
Yeah.
But you know, like there's a like the well will dry up, you know, like as far
Mhm.
as like I can't walk down Stratford and not bump into a dude who's a blue belt that quit 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yet
for you know,
another
like for
question to ask.
yeah,
Yeah. Why do people quit a blue belt? Yeah, we'll get there too.
yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I think there's just a very pragmatic explanation of that too, which we can get into. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I am famously terrible at business. I think everybody that knows me knows that. I'm like, I'm just gonna do what I do as best as I can and try and then, you know, take it or leave it.
Hmm.
I don't do like sales. I barely advertise. I started advertising like this year.
Right.
And I don't even know whether like my web guy is actually like yelling at me. He's like, Ryan, you're the link that you have like attached to like those business cards you handed out and everything else basically goes to a dead link. Like there's like sign up now. People want to click to like learn more about it, and then
Yeah.
it sends
Yeah.
you to
Yeah.
our waiver, you know. So it's like, oh, now I've got to do
Yeah,
homework, you know. Like it's just
Sean Waddy will
the
be happy about that. They signed a waiver. Bring them
yeah,
in.
the worst sales funnel processing you've ever
Yeah.
met
Yeah.
in your entire life. You know, it's just not what I do.
I've always struggled with
Um,
that though, Ryan, because I see not just within the context of jujitsu or anything like that, but it's hard to be everything, right? So when you're
yeah,
running even a small business, right? And I've had multiple guests on here. I've had over 100 on the other side, and you know some of them got into in the cannabis industry because they were passionate about cannabis, and then they realized,
yeah,
oh my god, I've got to run a dispensary or a grow or something like this, and it's hard to be all of those things. And look at a realtor, right? I've spent years as a real estate agent and a broker.
mm,
If I had to stand on my head and do the things that some of these agents have to do now with their fancy videos and all this extra marketing, I'd be like, guys, I'm here to negotiate. This is what
yeah,
I do, right? This is my own little niche area. So don't feel so bad about that. I think you're surrounding yourself with the right people, but also you've built the culture and the community that you've always got someone willing to help because they want to see selfishly. I've done it myself. Is like, I need to see this club survive. Jiu-jitsu can't go anywhere. Ryan
mm,
has to stay here. I will do everything I can to make sure that this club stays. So,
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is, right? And the fact that you can call it out. I mean, we talk about egos going away in martial arts, but specifically with jujitsu, you can see that in that. So, um, so so you see the Stratford not really dying or shrinking. I lived my first, I think, 6 or 7 years of my life in Stratford, so I wouldn't know the culture necessarily, but I've always been close, and Woodstock's close. It has that culture appeal, but as far as being similarities to Woodstock, I've had the mayor on the show already. And
mm,
I grew up with him. So looking
yeah,
at the contrast of Woodstock has always been very focused on development and drawing industrial here. So you draw the jobs, you're going to draw the people to live, right? So yeah, obviously we're booming. You know that, you see that. Was it, hey, Woodstock's a stone's throw away, I can manage two clubs, let's do it this way, or
yeah. I
hey,
mean,
there's interest?
it was definitely the people too. Like we had a couple kids, like one in particular that the parents would take them out of school early just to get them to
Oh,
Stratford, right?
yep.
Like just to make class. And I'm
Right.
like, and we do have like a lot of guys that are closer to Woodstock than Stratford, and we lose them during the wintertime because of the
Oh yeah,
drive.
it's
And
a horrible drive.
um, yeah, that's a gnarly winter drive. That like
Snow
it's
belt
not a far
central, yeah.
distance, but yeah,
Oh, it's
driving home
brutal.
at 10 p.m. a couple of those nights were
Yeah.
sketchy.
Oh, I bet.
Um, yeah, yeah, the old Kia wasn't doing it anymore, so that's my excuse for the wreck, anyways.
Yeah,
But
you can justify it however you want.
yeah, exactly.
I need to fit more mats in the back.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's I mean, I did see the difference, like the growth. Like when I go to like when we first opened, like, cause I was comparing Woodstock and Stratford,
Hmm.
and Woodstock and Stratford had like an identical population when we,
Right.
13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Woodstock looks and feels like it's doubled,
Mm-hmm.
and Stratford has like not even nudged the
Yeah.
needle. But it's real pretty.
Oh, it's
Like,
great. The
and
culture's great. The
the
downtown.
people are
Yeah.
great. Everything, no, like the people are fantastic. Everything else, but there's this drive to kind of keep Stratford as it is, like keep it as like this
Yeah.
time capsule.
Mm-hmm.
And the feeling is like the people that live here, that like I'm on, not only am I on the wrong side of the tracks, I'm also on the wrong side of the river or the lake. But all the people who live on the other side of the sorry, the cats are nuts.
That's right.
The other side of the lake, like they want to basically drive their company through
Mm.
and point at all the pretty buildings and all the flowers,
Yeah.
but then not like show up like to any of the local businesses.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they'll go to the keg instead of like
Yeah. It's
the
brutal.
beautiful local restaurant that has like a guy that worked at a Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
but that's typical.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a bit jaded, but I think I'm getting old enough to get curmudgeonly, I think.
Yeah. I've always said that if they took the culture in the downtown of Stratford and combined it with the growth of Woodstock, you'd have the perfect city. It's like the perfect Ontario city. Close enough. I mean, the way Woodstock's expanding, maybe one day we'll eventually just consume Tavistock and Shakespeare and Stratford. Who knows? Fast forward 100 years into the future. Ryan, what would you say is... Obviously, every club would be a little bit different, right? Every academy must be a little, you go city to city, but is there a cultural difference between, or community difference that you see specifically between Woodstock and Stratford when it comes to the culture of the club itself?
I think that people make the culture. Like, I mean, obviously, like leadership is important, and I have a pretty laissez-faire attitude towards people's training. It's like for me, like you have to be self-motivated to do this sport. Like initial interest will only carry so far. And again, like like we already indicated, like I'm not the guy that's going to be like, if you've disappeared for a month, I'll send you a text. I'll give you a call, be like, hey, like, all good. Did you get hurt? Like, do we need to pause your membership? Like, what's the deal? I'll just do a general check-in.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not going to be like hounding you. Like, you got to be at training. You got to be at training. And some people need that. But I don't know, you should want to be there.
Right.
And if you don't want to be there, for better or worse, like that's okay too. Like, maybe you found something else. Maybe that leads well into that blue belt quitting thing. Think about how many years it takes to get a blue belt, or even just be within your blue belt, and then consider any other activity or hobby that you've had. Would you do it for 10 years? Like, if you think about anything else that you used to be obsessed with as a kid, did you do it for a decade?
Yeah, not many things. Guitar,
probably not, right?
But
like,
even, I hope jiu-jitsu doesn't become my guitar, which is 30 plus years of on and off every 6 months, right?
Yeah. Well, the good thing, like similar to learning how to play an instrument, is it doesn't, or riding a bike, like it doesn't leave you. Like, there's guys that I've trained with that had quit for years and they pop back in. They're still dangerous. Like, it is a skill that you really do.
I mean, you see a blue belt. I tell you, take Jer, for instance, right? He's off coding and doing something. A blue belt comes in. I'm like, oh, you've been off for a while. Let's roll. And then just ties me up into a ball.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how much time he's had off the mat. So I can see that for sure. What do you feel is, so if you could define the two cultures between Stratford and Woodstock, can you? Are they different, or because of the leadership and the coaching?
I notice a difference, but Woodstock's unique in, like, number one, how fast it grew, and like how much energy people, like we are, communal, species. Like, you start a lineup out in front of an empty store, other people will line up. So like the fact that you guys kind of came in all at once and had all that energy and you were all learning together, like that was unique. Like that normally doesn't happen.
Right.
Stratford, like, took to get to 100 members in Stratford took like 7 years. Wow. Like it was the slowest, slowest growth.
How many times
ever.
In
like,
there were you like, should I be doing this?
Oh, my wife was probably really considering her choices in life. For a bit
maybe
there.
You should have went in the military.
Yeah. And then we're over 200 in Woodstock already, like
Wow.
in just over a year. Like
And
it's
growing. I still see
yeah,
new students consistently.
yeah, yeah. It's just a completely different market. And I think there is like there's no like, better than or anything else. Cause it's really different. Like there's kids that I've been training with for so long now that they like, they don't take me seriously anymore. And that's
Mhm.
probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Um, so it can be a little more difficult to teach them in
Mhm.
Stratford. Like it just like, I feel like I don't have as much control over the room. Like for me to teach like the TOTS class in Stratford is like, whew, it's work. But then in Woodstock, like, I mean, I can teach a class of like 25 4-year-olds and somehow it works.
Hmm.
And again, it might just be because like it's a newer group and like they're all like a little bit afraid of everything. And so they're a little bit more tuned in.
Yeah.
Um, but like I like, and again, I'm not trying to, shit on Stratford at all, but like, and it's not true across the board, but like more of the parents in Stratford will just kind of drop their kids off. And
Mhm.
that's great because that shows that they know
Well, there's
we're
trust.
safe.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
trust, right? And it's a great way of just like, but literally like they get kicked out the car door, come in,
Yeah.
whereas I think almost every single parent stays and watches
Mm.
the kids in Woodstock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which for better or worse, that can also have a negative effect too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's that like I feel like there's like a blue collar, white collar difference
Mm.
in Woodstock
Yeah.
in Stratford, but it is different. There is a different culture, and I think it's just younger.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
parents are younger. Just everything's just a little bit younger in Woodstock.
Mm.
You know,
Well, we've
so
needed an outlet for a long time, believe me.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what would be? I've always questioned this: is what would one reality be that those on the outside, like myself, we don't run any martial arts club. One reality of running an academy be that no one just would ever know or consider?
Uh, Geez. I mean, you could
There's
cross
probably a
that over.
million.
Yeah, I mean, like it's at the end of the day, it's a small business, and
Yeah.
and for most, it's a family-owned business. So, um, like running a small business and having your ups and downs, and like paying bills and trying to offer the services of like what a big like a Toronto-based gym offers, but also you can't charge the same rates.
Mm.
At least I don't.
Yeah.
But um, uh, that's like a pretty big challenge because like at the end of the day, like your membership pays for my daughter's like
Yeah.
dance or gymnastics or
Yeah.
anything else. So there's that direct line, and and sometimes like if things slow down or like like right now we're heading to the summertime. Traditionally, like our numbers tank. Like
Mm.
because all kids get outside and they're doing soccer and everything else.
Yeah.
We still have kids that train, and we never want to be because like I would rather kids do other things when they need to,
Right.
because first of all it's better for their athletic development. That's been pretty well established that
Hmm.
single sport athletes just don't develop properly or into the athletes they could,
Yeah.
which is why like doing gymnastics at a young age is like the best
Mm.
possible option. That's why our young kids class, like all of our like it's basically half the class is like animal movements and gymnastics and just rough and tumble and just like pushing and pulling, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just to get them like physically competent to
Yeah.
like even before they even start to learn. And then as they get older, we expect we actually teach technique and run real training. But
Mm.
um yeah, I mean, as far as like the hardest thing, I don't know, just I mean, you do have to perform. I think you are performing.
Hmm.
So like being able to have, and I mean, you guys get the benefit of me being hilarious, but um, but yeah, like to perform, it's not just like, hey, I have this information, I'm trying to give it to you,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but to deal with like say all those stressors, like like pick my kid up from school, get them fed, transfer over to my wife taking over, and then me running over to Woodstock and then immediately hopping on the mats and then like
Hmm.
having to be like this boisterous
Yeah.
and fun to be around and to learn from, but
Yeah.
also not have it just be pure chaos,
Right. Right.
and have a plan and a curriculum and everything else. Like that's
That's
that's a
wild, man.
challenge.
I've never really thought of it like that because you're right. Like, and even on your bad day, you can't bring that to the mats, right? But also the
Yeah.
mats are going to change it. But you're instructing, you're not getting to roll every time. So, I've always said and I'm sure you've heard this a million times. So many people have said it as jujitsu changed my life, and it was, for someone like me, I ran a huge tech company, and then we go
Yeah.
remote, and my commute becomes 30 seconds instead of 4 hours.
Yeah.
And you need that mental break from the day, and as soon as you step on the mats, it's clarity, it's peace, all that goes away, and now it's, oh my god, I need to survive. Like, these
Yeah.
people are trying to
Yeah.
kill me. How do I survive? So I've never really thought of it like that, where I've never seen it come through necessarily. Alex is a hard read at times. He's a little bit of a different coach, but you
Mhm.
don't see I've had a crappy day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't see that. So that's something that I think someone, or anyone
Yeah. I
watching this
mean,
can
we're
take away.
we're always happy on the mats, and like, so we do, like, I have our instructors do instructor training. Like, it's
Mhm.
a requirement from our
Yep.
guys, and we try and run it once a year. But I remind them, it's like you're literally getting paid to do something that you like to do.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting paid to do a hobby, and
Yeah.
um don't forget that. So if like the kids are annoying you, or if like they're just like, I swear that full moon thing is real. Like, some days they come in, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, I can't,
Who
like,
gave
they're
you red dye
crashing
and
into
sugar?
each other, and they're like babbling. Like, sometimes I catch them like talking to the wall, like they're just completely standing aside. They're just like standing off in the corner and just talking to the wall. And I'm like, what are you
Are
doing?
we talking about the tots or the masters?
A little both, a little bit of both. Yeah. No, it's I wrote an article once, and I think I call it the forced meditation of jiu-jitsu, and it's exactly what you're saying. It's like, you can't be focused on, girl problems or work problems or anything else when someone's trying to strangle you,
Yeah.
right? Like, you have to be in the moment and just deal
Yeah.
with what's in front of you. Yeah, I mean, when the benefits of jujitsu are massive. I think people don't understand how much value that you get from training a martial art, and jujitsu in particular, because it is, you can be anyone and do it. Like, I think my coach once, my professor George, like, he once said, like, jujitsu is for everyone, but not everyone is for jujitsu, I guess. Is I think what the quote was.
Yeah.
It's like, it gives you so much for your life. Like, it gives you, it's exercise first and foremost. Like,
Yeah.
all the benefits that come from exercising. If you want to break it down into like the actual like exercise itself, it's like, I don't know if you've seen the build, but I mean, like,
Yeah,
I don't
ready for
touch weights.
stage, Herc.
I don't touch weights. But no, like, it builds everything up. It builds your
Yeah.
muscle. Like, it is cardiovascular. Like, it's
Oh yeah. It's definitely
flexibility,
that.
for better or worse, if you wanted to or not.
Yeah.
All of those things.
If you wanted to or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some force stretching there.
Yeah.
And then again, like, the mental benefits, the clarity, it's a skill-based sport. So it is like, if you like, I like, my first love was snowboarding. Like, that's my sport, even though I don't ever do it.
Yeah.
But it's such a technical thing. It's like, you're constantly like working on something. Like, you're enjoying every moment of it,
Yeah.
except for some of those, those
Falling
trips
on
up
your
the
wrist
hill.
sucks, but yeah.
Yeah. But like, you're working on a trick, like,
Right.
you're working on something, you're trying,
Yep.
and the crossover to jiu-jitsu is there. Like, you're always working on this skill. Like, I'm trying to work on this armbar. I'm trying to work on this. Like, you have your own like little micro lesson and focus in every training session.
Yeah.
And I try and remind you guys of that. Like, I do my best to like be like, guys, like, we have what we're working on as a class. Like, this is the technique or the position we're trying to develop. But when it's rolling, you should also have your own goals and your
Right.
own thing that you're trying to find and figure
Yeah,
out
yeah.
and think about.
Yeah.
So like that game that's there is big. And then it's self-defense, learning how to strangle someone is pretty good.
Yeah.
um,
Comes in
or not
handy.
get, or if someone gets on top of you, knowing how to, escape that is a pretty good thing. And then there's the competitive outlet, like all the guys that, wish they could do a sport,
Mm-hmm.
but don't want to get, compete with 18-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's like this massive competition scene that exists within jiu-jitsu, and it doesn't exist elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, I have questions about that too, but I'm curious. I want to hang on the culture side for 1 second. And so, one, how do you draw good instructors in? Is it, you've got classes full of, brown belts, and now they're getting into black belts and they're interested. But then also, what kills a gym culture?
I mean, ego. We always talk about ego, and you can never eliminate ego. Like everyone, I have an ego. Like
everyone has an ego.
Yeah,
It's whether or not
mine's
they can
just
keep it in
very
check.
bruised at this point, right? Malleable.
Mm.
But you need to have a little bit of an ego with things, because it makes things worthwhile a lot of times. And I mean, leadership is important. Like having a coach that actually cares about like developing people and not just on winning. It is really important. And I mean, hiring the right people, but the unfortunate thing is jiu-jitsu is for everyone, like I said, but not everyone who is like in the best situation. Like, like Ashton is like incredibly talented. Like he's really like, when he went and competed, I was like, oh, okay, we got a competitor on our hands. I had no idea. You're good on the mats, but geez, okay, you have a second gear.
Yeah.
Like, so he's a guy I'd be like, oh man, like I wish I could invest in him and like make him a coach. But like, I've been in it long enough to know like he might be gone next year, like he might
he ain't going anywhere.
He might get a girlfriend. I don't know.
He's got
like,
a girlfriend, but we've talked about post-secondary. He ain't going too far. Let's just say that.
Okay, all right, man. Well, there's hope then.
Yeah, there's hope.
But then there's other people that maybe struggle a little bit more in regards to like, learning, or they struggle in competition or everything else. And but they still become very good, competent instructors. Like you don't always have the choice of like the star athlete or star personality even.
Yeah.
It doesn't always exist, except for Greg. Like Coach Greg is the
Greg is
he checked every single box.
I only get to a few of his classes, but we've got and I'm sure there's multiple of these. So for anyone that watches that's part of our clubs, I know that there's WhatsApp groups and different little groups. So we've got a little masters one. It's, spring chicken, jiu-jitsu, shout out to all those guys. But it's the same thing, right? It's like everyone loves Coach Greg. The way that he teaches, his philosophies behind it. You got a sore knee. I've been there. We'll work around it. Right. So yeah, it's just so important. And I mean, that's why I've been able to stick with it. If you were that type of instructor, or that culture was, you're doing that wrong. You got to do this. You can't put your butt on your knees. What the heck? Come on, man. Like, let's go. I wouldn't be able to do it. There's just I've had far too many injuries to be able to work around or not work around all of that. So, yeah. So I think that's important. Like, sorry, back to Coach Greg, but he checks a lot of those boxes for you, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, culture wise too, cause like you can sort of draw or retain based on the way that you teach and the culture you set. Like we retain tons of kids, and we retain like, dudes that are, maybe past their athletic prime, like that they're still like really happy and eager to learn something and do this thing for real. Right. Like it's not like we're making the training any less easy, but we keep it attainable. And if I taught in a way that was like, survive or leave, we would get way more of those like competitive. There's some gyms like they're just like, how do they have like, 20, 16 to 28-year-olds, and but you know what, they're let's just say the culture is not the same. Yeah. If you look at a picture of the room and there's no women training ever, like you can usually tell like what kind of a group it is. And fair to them, it's like if that's what the coach is interested in, and that's all he wants to deal with. And, or maybe that's the attitude that coach has. Like, he's just like, no, like, toughen up or get out.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like
some Cobra Kai stuff going on there.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas for me, I'm like, listen, like, if you want to compete, great. But, and we'll be there to support you, but it's not something that you need to do. Like, you should want to do it. Like, probably the best times of my life have come from competition.
Yeah.
Like traveling to California to compete at Worlds or Pan Ams or something, or just like, hopping in a van with a bunch of guys and, like, or no coach included, and just driving across the border to go compete in, like, some kind of shitty local.
There's a lot
American
of camaraderie that comes along with it. And again, we share it differently. We've had UFC get-togethers and, get together for dinner and do what we can. But, when you get to see like I've been injured before both of the, we'll say club sanctioned competitions, right before each, blow some ribs, blow a meniscus, signed up for July, fingers crossed, knock on wood, do everything I can. But I think it says something. You build a group of friends and allies and those that support you. And I can say that, through those injuries, because we've got some guys that are out injured right now, if they didn't have that group to support and see. So one, it's frustrating because you see all your friends they're there, they're on the mats, they're training. Great class. Oh my God, I can't believe Ryan or Greg did that today. Yeah, that was great. And then you're like, oh man, I'm on this. But if it wasn't for that, it'd be so easy to get into that lull, that dark valley, and not come out the other side and want to get back to the mats again. So I get that. Let me shift a little bit into where jiu-jitsu's at now, maybe where you see it going. But, there's been a lot of debate, right? So a couple questions. One would be, are you frustrated with Instagram and all of the maneuvers and different techniques you start to see? And then all of a sudden you see your students trying to, learn something new on the mats, but it's not effective.
Yeah.
Okay, we can stop there. Yeah.
No, definitely no. It's a two-sided coin, because the availability of information is never been better, right? Like, I mean, you can get variation on variation on variation of the most obscure technique ever, and it's like immediately available to you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you've now lost the like what makes it special. Like for me, I find seminars are pointless now.
Right. Okay.
Right. Like, I mean, they're not, because when you get the specialist to come in and teach something they're really good at, and they can be there physically to, like, correct your technique and or explain it in a way that makes sense to you, like, and learn directly from the source. Like, obviously that's valuable.
Yeah.
But like, if you've watched that technique for the past 3 years, and you know what I mean, like on Instagram, and you've seen it, like, like so and so do it, like, you're kind of like, like, do I want to spend $50 to like $150 to, like, go and learn something that I already know?
Yeah.
It lost a bit of that, like, mystery and, like, what makes it kind of special. Even with, like, the originally, like, I think cross training is great. Like, especially like if you're out and about and visiting somewhere, like, go train. But there was this, like, really strong pushback against, like, the they call them creanches, like the like traders, like guys that were like, I'm part of gym A, and then but I'm going to gym B and gym C at the same time. Like, so that was really, like, that used to be like, you don't do that, or you're really it didn't go over well with the coach. And you should be able to do whatever you want to do, and ultimately I think it says a lot about the coach's mentality if they are against that, or like, get mad at something along those lines. Like, I think you should be free to go wherever you want and find the best gym for you that has the atmosphere that you want, the schedule that you want, whatever, like, go and train. But on the opposite side of things, like, I do believe, like, number one, it's like, who are you getting your rank from? Because if you care about rank, like, then you got to kind of make a decision, like, what team are you getting promoted by?
Yeah.
But that's one of, like, the most minor things to consider. But more so, it's like, if the coaches and teammates are putting energy and effort into your development, and then you are going elsewhere, like you're kind of taking away from what you could be adding to the room, right? Like you are a benefit to be there for your team. And you might bring back something, but ultimately, like, we could have had even numbers that night if you showed up,
Right.
Could have been better training.
I wouldn't have had to roll as a coach. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That honestly is one of the most frustrating things so in Stratford, we almost always have uneven numbers. I roll all the time in Stratford.
Yeah.
Especially now with our open mats. But Woodstock, I cannot get on the mats. Like it's always even numbers.
Wow.
So I would have to take someone away from training, make them sit out for me to like hop in, which always feels wrong.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of things,
that would be like, yeah, you want in? You could go ahead. No problem.
For sure. But more from a more practical point, like my first job is safety. And if I'm rolling and I don't see someone, that guy went unconscious in a choke, he should have tapped, he missed it,
Well, I remember you talking about that, right? Like at the beginning, well, I would say it was probably 3-4 months in when you did have more mat presence, like rolling, you're like, I'm starting to feel comfortable. There's not as many spazzy white belts now.
Guys just, running football, tackling each other
out to
around,
kill each other.
Especially before we added that extra border mat, like that made a big difference. Because anyone that was on the outside of those posts would just immediately be falling on concrete. I was like, I gotta stand here.
How do you think there's this debate, right? So UFC BJJ's become a thing. I forget what number they're at. They don't do a very good job of promoting it. Oddly, I don't know why. I always miss when they're on, but there's this debate where, because that's no-gi, right? Obviously. Do you feel that jiu-jitsu has become more sport-like than traditional? And is that a good thing if it is?
I think that it is a good thing. Like at the end of the day, like, practicing the sport of something is what allows you to do it full intensity. I believe like Jigoro Kano, the judo guy, we got his picture up at the gym. He actually like talked about that once, and like I don't have a direct quote off the top of my head, but he indicated like in the creation of judo, he's like, this is a way that we can practice something that is so we can retain something from our culture, because he was seeing like this westernization of Japan. We can retain this aspect of our culture in this like martial art way, and everything else, to respect the formalities and whatnot. And then this practical like warlike thing, but we need to make it safe enough and give it rules so that it can be done fully, like so that you can actually like it's why we don't allow small joint manipulation, and like it's not that those things don't work. Someone breaks your finger, it sucks, but you can still punch them with that hand. You know what I mean? Like, you're just going to make someone mad. But you can't do that, because you'd get through like 2 training sessions and then you have no hands, right? Like, and that doesn't mean that it's like effective. It's just it's impractical for training. In the same way, I mean, there's a reason why, in boxing or kickboxing, you shouldn't be sparring every single class, because like your brain just can't handle it. Like it's just bad. I mean, kids are getting CTE from playing soccer, just from heading the ball. You know what I mean? Like it's the more information that comes out about brain health and safety is like even judo's like just the impact, getting like your brain falling, but just the impact, that shock wave is enough to do damage. So I mean, I'm happy with the sport I chose. Like it's
no doubt.
Well,
that makes sense. Okay, so into the blue belt theory, from my coach to everyone else listed, like, why is it? Because there's a joke, right? We hear it. If you make it to blue belt, and then we won't see you anymore. What is that? Is it because jiu-jitsu compared to other martial arts? I mean, the belt transitioning time, depending on how much time you're putting in, that's a longer time. Why do we see a drop off after blue belt?
I mean, the easy answer is it's the first milestone.
Okay.
So, hey, I'm doing this thing. Oh, I got my blue belt. Like check
Yeah.
the box. All right, now I can back out. You know,
Right. Right.
what I had said earlier, you know, that might be 4 years of training, not to
Mm.
get the blue belt, but maybe just quit within your blue belt.
Yeah.
It's like, 4 or 5 years of doing something, you might not enjoy it anymore.
Right.
Despite the benefits, like the benefits don't disappear, but it's like maybe you just don't care anymore.
Mm.
Like in the same way, like if a guy starts training at 25 and
Yeah.
now they're, 31, now they're changing diapers and you know what I mean? It's just like,
Sure.
it's just like the time and the priority, like may just change. You might just be like, I don't care anymore. Like I'm happy being fat, and
Yeah.
I'm happy, eating junk food or, what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't really need this or, whatever the case is, how many guys like keep rock climbing forever, it's just,
Yeah.
again, it's just that timeline.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like it gives you a peak of the mountain, I think, because, if you start climbing a hill and you're like, I'm going to get to the top of the hill,
Mm.
it's like getting your blue belt's like walking through the first line of clouds. And then
Yeah.
you go, holy shit, like that is, I did
Can we
not
turn
sign
back?
up for that.
Did anyone
Yeah,
pack a
I didn't
lunch?
sign up for that. Yeah. Um, and ultimately, it is a combat sport. Injuries happen.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
find that that's the toughest one is when there's an injury, like people returning from an injury?
Yes, but again, that's self-motivation. You need to have it. Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to like, within reason, like there's some really, I mean, if something so big happened to your body,
Yeah.
a lot of honest thing too is like a lot of people that start doing jujitsu didn't do sports.
Mm.
Like they didn't grow up playing sports. This is the
Okay.
first thing that they've really like found, like, hey, I can do this too. Like they
Yeah, so
weren't
they're coming in with a
athletes.
fresh body, fresh
And then
knees.
so they've never understood the discomfort that comes with doing a contact sport.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's like hopefully she won't watch this, but like our yoga instructor, and she's a blue belt. Our
Okay.
yoga
Yeah.
instructor in Stratford, she'd always be like, "Oh, I'm a bit injured today."
Mm.
I'm like, "No, you're sore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not an injury."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is so I think the context of like what's acceptable amount of pain, like again, for me coming from an extreme sports background, I'm like,
Yeah.
if you've crashed into a tree before, like, or like,
Yeah.
absolutely like,
Yeah.
like
If it's not completely
fallen
broken in
50 feet
half,
through
yeah,
the
I'm
air
coming.
onto your
Yeah.
back, it's
Yeah.
just not,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I
it's
mean,
different.
everyone's pain thresholds obviously are different. And again, it's growing up. Like I've lived, like my first hockey accident was 12 years old, right? So I've
Yeah.
lived in a state of injury and repair. Like my ribs are still messed up and I'm still everyone's like, you're good? You're going to roll? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Against better
Yeah, I gotta
judgment, I'm
adapt.
here. Like, let's go.
Injuries honestly can be one of the best things for training because it forces you out of, what your comfort zone. Like,
Well,
so
not
like I
doing anything's
can't do
worse.
that thing I always do. So now
Yeah.
I have to figure out something else to do.
Yeah. Well, I did take your advice, Ryan, when, because I think it was, so I blew my meniscus, let that heal up, I get back, and it was just stay on the bottom, learn defense. And then it was echoed by John Danaher. And it was, your first couple years or first year in that white belt, I just stay on your back, learn defense. And then I screw my rib up, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to my back, I'm going to my side. And that's all I did for like 3 months straight. And it really improved my defensive game. It certainly did. But again, it's like you've got an injury. It doesn't mean unless, cast right up your leg or something like that. But again, everyone's wired a little bit different, I think.
Yeah. There's some people who've been hurt that, like, knock on wood, we have a very low injury rate.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to like, most of the guys are a little bit more on the older side that train, and, so they know like where the line is. I'm not going to push myself to the point of injury.
Yeah.
And like I've indicated in class, most injuries are self-inflicted. Like
yeah.
you did something that was like when you have two, like, not stationary bodies, but where you have two grounded bodies, like, how is like
Right.
the other guy going to hurt you,
Mm.
outside of like some really unsafe behavior,
Yeah.
which again the coach should be seeing.
Yeah.
um it's usually you like, oh, he's got this and I'm twist out of it, like, so it's explosive movements that
Mm-hmm.
typically throw things out of whack. Or again, like falling bodies, like,
Mm-hmm.
way more injuries due to takedowns than grounded
Yeah.
positions.
Yeah.
No one should be getting injured due to a submission.
Right. Yeah.
Both guys screwed up real bad
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You forgot to say tap, and the other guy just wasn't listening.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the draw? Because obviously, I had my oldest, she's 22 now, but I started her at the Y judo when she was younger. She stuck with it for a few years, and then
Mhm.
life gets chaotic as you have other kids.
Yeah.
But I see that there's almost a, I don't want to say trend. You've been around this for a long time.
Yeah.
What's the draw for middle-aged individuals up to, I started in my 50th year. Yeah, I had a minor martial arts background, nothing crazy, certainly nothing that helped me in jiu-jitsu. It's for anyone that's new to this and listening, yes, jiu-jitsu is completely different, but it's still awesome. But anyways, what's that draw? Is it, I can personally share why it was for me, which is I need to start moving again more. Like lifting weights is just not enough. We need it. Yes. Bone density, osteoporosis. I get it. But it was sitting, editing, interviewing, doing all this. I'm like, I got to move. I got to move. But what's
Yeah.
that draw? Like, why are you seeing the numbers, if you are, I think you are, increase
Yeah.
for that age category?
I mean, so I think it is a bit of a generational thing. Like, I think as we move forward, until I think something's got to, like, we can talk about AI and everything else, or how it affects people, but
Mm-hmm.
I really do think there's a generational issue right now with like teenagers into their like of this like, what's the point?
Mm.
Like how
Mm.
like they might dabble here and there, but they're so flighty
Yeah.
with everything, and there's such a lack of like direction for their future,
Mm.
that I think it's bleeding over into other areas of their life. Like, they have like 10 different hobbies, and that get recycled and switched
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
constantly, because it's just like, yeah. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not from the generation, but I'm like, it's like the grown up iPad kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like all they want is like the next flashy image and
Doom
everything
scrolling.
else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done it. Like, my generation, generations ahead of me, we developed it. We put it
Yeah.
in their hands. Right. So, and that's what I say to a lot of parents. I'm like, it's not the kid's fault. Like,
Yeah.
right. Limiting them was your choice and your
Yeah.
parenting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the draw is like, it's changing now, because like even I don't know if you see this too, but like everyone, because jujitsu was like the most popular martial art for a long time. Like
Mhm.
I think it still is the one of the most popular and the fastest growing martial arts sports, etc. But I think that because I don't know if we were talking shit, but in general, like it's like jujitsu or nothing. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
jujitsu is the best. Watch jujitsu versus this guy. Watch jujitsu versus that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's clear,
Yeah.
right? Which
Yeah.
is the best single martial art. And now everyone's a black belt in the UFC. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So no one's really getting submitted anymore. They're all knocking each other out. And then
Yeah.
now everyone's like harping on jiu-jitsu. So it's not the same draw. Like before, it's like, I want to fight MMA, or I want to know how to fight.
Mm.
Default, learn jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, jiu-jitsu doesn't really work anymore, or it's a different thing
Yeah.
now. And that hasn't changed at all. It's just the outlook on
Mhm.
the actual position, or again, context within the sport itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know, at the end of the day, I always chalk things up to grappling versus striking. And like, I don't think I'm biased, but I don't think I would ever put my money on a striker versus a grappler. Like
Yeah.
um, it is what it is. And I've explained this in class, like, when a boxer gets hit and they don't want to get hit anymore, they clinch.
Right.
And there's nothing more that other boxer that just landed punches would want to do more than create separation and punch them again.
Yeah.
Right. And they can't do it. So, or again, kickboxing, catch, hit, kick, takedown, etc. But the biggest thing is the way that people look at martial arts is just different now. I don't know if World War III starting up would be a kick in the pants to get people to be able to defend themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird question because I see it changing, but it's also my own personality and outlook on things change too.
Yeah, but I mean, you're at kind of that pole position, right? Where you can kind of turn around and look back and see the crowd and understand who's coming in, who's not, who's sticking with it, what's drawing them. You've always been the type of individual you're never going to pry. I think you've said this to me is you're not going to pry into anyone's lives if they want to open up to you about what they do, what their background is, which is also awesome, right? I think that's what's so cool about jiu-jitsu is you get everyone. I mean, there's everyone. There's everyone. I finally convinced my doctor to come out, and now he's there, so I get to roll with him. And I always remind him, don't break me. Don't break me.
It's weird how many we get so many doctors. Like in Stratford, we have a lot of doctors that train, and I mean, maybe that's a testament too about the safety of it.
Yeah.
Within reason, they know it's a contact sport, and whenever you get bucked and bruised around, but
sure.
It definitely it draws a certain type of person, and I guess I think a better way of just explaining what I'm thinking is and you know how I like to talk in metaphors and analogies and everything, but everyone's body is a vehicle, and what that vehicle is capable is kind of fixed. The driver of that vehicle is the technical side. It's also that's the ego. That's also the the heart in it.
Yeah.
So if you have a 1987 Dodge Caravan as a vehicle, but you have a Michael Schumacher sitting in the driver's seat, you can do some pretty cool stuff. You know what I mean? So you don't have to be the world's best athlete to do jiu-jitsu, which is why I think we see so many different people coming into it in different ages and everything else. Anyone can do jiu-jitsu and get good at it. Anyone can. But if you're an athlete, if you show up with a Ferrari, you know what I mean? That's your the coach's dream at that point, right? But at the same time, you get guys that are an athlete and they just the driver's shit. They just cannot wrap their head around the sport,
right?
Or how it works. So that's what I always try and do, because when going back to rank, a lot of people I do have a pretty clear outlook on white to blue, and I know I really beat that into you guys, so you knew how to set goals for yourselves and what I have for expectations. But I cannot judge the person in the caravan, to the guy with the Ferrari, right? They're on the same racetrack, but they're running different races. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I think that's where, I've joked and there's so many this is one thing, your algorithms, especially, right? They start changing. Everything is jiu-jitsu and cars and whatever. But I've drawn it back now because I look at Ashton and his progression, and some of the younger guys as well, because they've moved into the adult classes. And I'm like, how do they remember this stuff? I'm lucky if I remember 4 things from the last month. But I always said it's because Ashton would play not a lot of video games, but enough, sort of NHL hockey, and there'd be millions of moves. You got to remember all these combinations to do stuff. I'm like, that's probably why they're remembering all of Ryan's instructions, because as soon as a clap, it's Men in Black getting tasered. You have no idea what's going on anymore. Where are we? Okay, Coach, what I want to do is move into some quick fire questions, have a little bit of fun with it. You've seen this before, the push pull, and I think, we're a smooth comp, but regardless, for Coach Ryan O'Shea, gi or no gi?
Gi.
Okay.
I love gi, man. Especially the older I get. Gi. I don't know. I love cross choking people in strangling. It's just so easy. It's so easy.
Do you find because I've heard really good opinions on both sides. I don't know who, they must run an app or something. The technology is, but I see a mix of older individuals, but the best ones I hear is the older guys like myself going, "Gee, I got to control those younger guys somehow, and I get a
Yeah.
hold of them. I can."
Yeah. It's just, I mean, if you can do this, you've now eliminated their ability to move by like 90%. So it's just, it's posture control. It's, like their ability to set a point. It's just easier.
Yeah.
But again, two-sided coin, like if it's easier for me, it's harder for you.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it goes both ways. So to anyone, you can't argue either way, but like, if I'm dealing with like I don't know, it goes both ways. Like if I'm dealing with like a stronger athletic kind of person, like I bigger than me, like I always wish I had those collars. It's just, for me just to kind of slow them down.
I've transitioned back into Nogi, and I'm like, give me a collar, give me a pant leg, give me something.
Yeah.
But I love the free flow and the feeling of Nogi as well. Like, I mean, I sweat. Dude, I sweat. Yeah. So I mean, I pick up I'm like,
that's the other thing. It's gross. I don't know.
Yeah,
like the gi, you got that armor, that barrier between
you two. But holding it. Yeah.
But but if I get into a bad spot, like Nogi's so much easier for me to slip out of things. And and I mean, that's always been like, if you can submit someone in the gi, like with like an arm lock or something, like, you really like if you escape something like that's in the gi, I mean, you really earn that escape. Whereas like some guys will just like slip full blitz, just yank out of stuff. And, it's on you to hold them there, but it's like, there's no friction. Like,
for sure. Especially the hotter it gets in the club. Yeah. Which before I go to the next one, let's just hit that question. Why are the clubs so hot?
Because air conditioning costs money. It's like you're a dad. You know what it's like to have a thermostat.
Who touched the thermostat?
Yeah. No, it's we do, like, honestly, I don't really feel bad for the adults at all. You guys know how to regulate yourselves. So like when, like, we're not quite there yet, but like if it starts to consistently get into the high 20s and 30s, doors will shut, AC turns on, and we definitely have that on for the kids, like the little guys especially.
Yeah.
And then, by the time, like, I mean, this is the thing too, is like the types of units that like most gyms are run out of are not like optimized for
there's a
that
lot
kind of humidity and heat and everything else. A lot of, so it's better to open the doors and just get some fresh air in. Like you just overpower, especially the Woodstock, like the AC there, like, or the HVAC there is just
I've been to Brazil, and I always joke with the guys that are complaining about it. I'm like, have you ever been to Brazil? They're not air conditioning their clubs. Like, come on.
Toronto BJJ, the upstairs, like the ceiling height, you can jump and touch it, no problem. Like, it's very similar to actually to Woodstock ceiling height wise, but Woodstock's in the base, like that half basement, so it stays cool.
Sure.
So you're talking second story, tar roof, flat roof with no insulation, and it just baked, and none of the windows opened. Oh my God. And for a long time, it's funny, I found an additional furnace that wasn't connected once. So there's like this door that was like never open. There wasn't a key like to it. And then eventually I think I found the key.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just this random door outside of, like, but on the side of the building.
Yeah.
And that like leads to nowhere. We thought it was just like sealed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I like eventually was able to open it. And I'm like, there's a full on furnace here. Like with like, and someone had removed all the HVAC going up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like, it was just doing nothing. And I'm like, this would immediately, like, heat in the wintertime. Like, there's nothing. It was like, it was, I don't know what the idea was there, but Crazy. And then we ended up getting a couple windows and installed, and it's better.
Crazy. Okay. So continuing on the quick fire, hardest belt rank mentally. Mentally. Yeah. Because I've heard it a lot of different ways, which is hardest belt to achieve. Everyone's like, oh, the white belt, because you got to step in. And I'm like, this is all a bunch of BS. Like, I don't know if there's a perfect answer for this, but you've been in it long enough.
For me personally, it was purple belt, but that was because of like my situation, like at the gym. I wanted to compete all the time. I wanted to train all the time, but that was like at the height of my, like, I'm basically like running this gym like I wasn't running the gym. Josh was running
Yeah.
the gym, but
Yeah.
I was there day to day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm teaching more than ever,
Mm-hmm.
and I also want to fight MMA.
Right.
And like that was like, for years, like just trying to train and fight MMA.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me to look at the guys that, were even like junior to me, um, and they just watching them get better than me at jiu-jitsu,
Mm-hmm.
because I was taking on like the responsibility of other things, and then also like a split focus of
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like, do my due diligence. And even watch them like get promoted before me and everything else. So like, and rightfully so, but just I'm like that was like started to sting a little bit. I'm just
Hmm.
like, basically, like I felt I'm like, but I'm the better competitor, like
Yeah.
I'm the guy, and your own ego,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it not being true,
Right.
so then that's
Yeah.
where I made the switch out of and back to jiu-jitsu again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. What's the most overrated submission?
Overrated submission, whatever the Instagram of the day is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw this
typically.
variation of a buggy choke, and I'm like, well, this doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I like I've struggled enough with certain techniques to know that it's just me. Like
Mm,
there are physical limitations with people in techniques sometimes,
sure.
but
Yeah.
like unless you're a teenager, like I can't do a buggy choke, and I'm pretty flexible.
Yeah.
Like I just
It's tough to get those
yeah
on tight, and there's a lot of pressure. Like I've got long legs. I'm fairly flexible for an old dude, but like I just can't nail them. Okay.
yeah.
Most underrated submission.
Underrated submission.
Yeah. Say mother's milk. Say
No, I hate that. I hate that. I don't know. I like clean technique. Like we had a visitor today at Stratford. I rolled with him a bunch, and I just like because he kept being like, "Oh, I'm fine," like I'm like I know, like I'm just letting go of this submission because I'm starting to have to force it. You're doing a really good job defending it.
Mm,
And for me, if I have to like exert myself within reasonable bounds,
yeah.
but like
Yeah.
if I have to like pull more than like 50% on something, like
Yeah.
I didn't earn it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
and there's things that you can be more technical and make it easy and flowy, but at the end of the day, if you're locked up on an armbar and you're just resisting, and I have to try and like put force into it, I'm like,
yeah.
next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So the mother's milk, like it's hilarious. Like, and again, like that blue belt, purple belt, me and my buddies would do horrible things to each other. Um, but, now as a coach, I hate seeing it, especially like when the kids do it to each other. Cause it's just
Oh
like,
yeah.
number one, you're just being a bully at that point,
Right.
and they do need to deal with that. But you can also do that with a cross choke.
Yeah.
You could also just, pressure them, with it, but to
Sure.
actually,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Don't not a fan of a buggy choke.
Yeah.
I mean, a mother's
Oh,
milk.
no, I'm sure you'd celebrate seeing a buggy choke pulled off properly. All right. Better attribute, cardio or strength?
Uh, within reason, like
Yeah.
you still have a little bit of the other thing.
Hmm.
I would say strength, honestly.
Okay.
Um, I mean, cardio, like that's how I beat a lot of guys is just like I just kill them with cardio. I see one deep breath
Yeah.
or one missed breath, and I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, I'm gonna just I'm gonna move. I'm just gonna keep moving and make you huff and puff, right?
Yeah.
I've always had really good cardio. That's one thing. I think that's from like the swimming background too. Like I always
Mhm.
had, cardio from that. Um, but realistically, strength. Like if you can't move someone, you can't like. I think at the very beginning of this, we were talking about, it's not magic, it's martial arts or
Yeah.
vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, I don't care. Like you have a 10-year-old and be like an absolute world champion. And I don't train for 10 years and
Mhm.
that kid's not submitting me. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
It's just like, you're just not strong enough to apply the technique.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that translates,
Yeah.
like,
For sure.
you try and move a 300-pound guy in nogi, especially like the neck. It's incredible how delicate the neck is, like how
Mhm.
easy it is to strangle someone. And if I have the ability to like grab onto something and apply a choke, it's game over. But
Yeah.
nogi, a 300-pound guy, like good luck. It's it's survival at that point.
Yeah. White belt mistake you still see consistently.
That's a lot of things. A white belt mistake. I guess I mean a mistake in training would be a lack of consistency. So it's either, you know, full on, full off. Like I'm training 5 days a week and then I'm training 1 day a week in the next week. Whereas just do your three days a week and build into whatever schedule that, you know, really makes sense for you. I think that's a big one. And especially like first time competitors and whatnot. I mean, you hear me, I've simplified my instruction so much over the years, but you probably hear me all the time. Fight the legs, push the leg, both hands, push the leg.
Yeah.
And like what I really want to be saying is frame and hip escape, but like, it translated so much better when I started telling kids to do that. Just push their leg, and then they frame and hip escape from doing that.
Right.
But yeah, white belts is like pushing the chest, pushing the belly, like turning, trying to sit up. Like
we were joking about this because there's some of us that are signed up for the 10th anniversary next gen, and I'm like, I can't remember the name of anything, so I hope any coaching for me is very simple language, because you know, you say, I can't use an example because I know what it is, but anything is like a very complicated move. Do this. I'd be like, what is that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I still get confused on a lot of stuff. So
no, my coaching in tournaments has changed a lot over the years. It's so general now. I'm just like pressure, more hips.
Yeah.
Lean. Like,
right. Yeah.
Watch the arm, you know, like just to like zone in.
It helps if you say their name too, because we don't know who you're talking about out there. All right. Most dangerous person in the room.
The most dangerous person, me. No. The most dangerous person in the room. Do I want to say the correct answer, or the most dangerous person in the room is a risk taker with oh gosh.
I don't want you to give me the politically correct or the proper. I want the Ryan O'Shea answer. Coach Ryan O'Shea, who's been, you know, owning an academy for 13 plus years. And
I've come across some people who are accident prone and risk takers. Those don't match up. Like a guy, no, like, you know, just where there's like, what possibly went through your mind to think that was the good thing, an intelligent thing to do, or a safe thing to do?
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I'm going to just suddenly front roll. Like your hands are behind your back. You just smashed your head into the floor. Like, what? Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you could say like this
rolling into a guillotine the one day, and you're like, you rolled forward. Why would you do that?
Yeah. It's like the spazzy, people,
I know the answer to this one, but I put it down anyways to make sure I hit it. Music on during rolls or silence?
Music on for sure. Cause like the grunting is, it's not like striking, you know, striking is like, there's a measured breathing to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like drowning and lifting weights and trying to catch your breath after a run all at the same time. And it doesn't sound good. Yeah.
Okay. Worst excuse someone has used for missing a class?
Usually something laundry based. All my gi. Oh, I didn't have any clean equipment. It's like, we have loaner gis. What do you like? You easily could have been there. Like, oh, I could use those. I'm like, could asked, you know?
I showed up one night. You weren't there. Reese is taking the class over. I showed up and I went over. He's finishing the kids' class. And I looked down at my mouth. Do you have a belt? And he looked at me. He's like, you idiot. And I'm like, I don't normally wash it every single time. And I put it on the wrong rack, and then I just packed everything up, and here we are. So anyways, okay. What's tougher, running a business or tournament prep?
What's tougher?
Yeah.
Definitely running a business.
Okay.
Yeah. I know some people, like, not everyone had the same ability that I had as far as like the ability to train. Like, you know, I was when I was competing a lot, it was like, I was doing 2 days all the time, but it's also like multiple classes plus teaching and rolling with those guys, like a lot of mad hours.
Yeah.
And then so as long as I was making my 2 or 3 like, advanced classes, where we just try and kill each other and train hard. Um, I always felt ready and prepped
Mm-hmm.
for jiu-jitsu. Um, but if you're only training 3 days a week, sometimes you might need something a little extra, but
Right. Yeah.
you don't need to, like, some people are like, what can I do to supplement my training? It's like, don't train more,
Yeah.
like within reason, not like the health and wellness kind of things, like
Yeah.
sleep and rest and water and all, eating
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. But like, oh, I'm gonna start lifting weights to get ready for the tournament, or I'm gonna start,
For the first time
doing,
in a decade.
yeah, yeah. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You should, like, I mean, I was joking, but I wasn't joking. Like, I don't lift weights. I don't
Mm-hmm.
do anything other than jujitsu. And I think this year is the first year I've ever really felt like I need to start to
Mm.
change my routine a little bit.
Interesting. Interesting. We can see
Yeah.
even
On
more
the
buff
weights.
Ryan walking through the door soon. Look out.
Yeah.
Who wants to roll?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I rolled with Coach Ian last night, and I rolled with Coach Greg just now, and
Yeah.
both of those guys are just
They're beasts.
they're
They're
just big. Yeah, Ian has made the biggest physical transformation. Like, he's just like, because he was always trying to like get really lean, skinny, like he wanted like the Brad Pitt body kind of a thing, or like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
movement. And now his mentality is switch. He's like, I'm just gonna get strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to be big. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I was trying to move them. Like, I was having Monday after, having the kids to myself all weekend, and, rolling a lot last week. And but like trying to move him last night, I was just like, I don't even have the desire to. I don't need to win.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to move, I'm just going to give you a roll at this point. And then Greg today, I tried to move him in, like, came
Yeah.
up for an underhook, and normally, like, people have like, there's a little bit of a squish,
Yeah.
and not fat, even just
Yeah.
like structure. I felt like I was trying to give like an oak tree a hug. I was just like, came up and just smashed into a wall. I'm like, all right, this is unfair.
Not that I have much skill of any sort, but I find Alex my biggest challenge. That guy is just
methodical.
Oh my God. Yeah. Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
Like, geez.
Yeah. No, he has, Alex is,
he's just cut from a different cloth. His music is different. His teaching techniques are different. He's very traditional.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love him too. He's an odd duck, but he's a good duck.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. And I love that you have that mixture across them all.
All of our coaches are so good. I wish they would compete a bit more. Like Alex hopped in a little bit. Like, and I know I need to get back out there and compete again too more. So the first year I ever like skipped the Ontario Open, like I always use that as like, hey, I did the Ontario Open. It's like the tough tournament of the year. Like, I know there's gonna, like, if I medal there, I still got it. But yeah, like, I mean, Coach Chris, he fought tons of MMA fights, and he had no management. So basically, like, you want to fight this guy, and then I'm like, that guy's like really, really good. Sure.
Yeah.
Like, go for it, Chris.
Yeah.
If we're not confident in your ability to fight anyone, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no cans in his resume. But like, if he just like wanted to compete in jiu-jitsu more, like he would do so well, especially no-gi. There's his ability to just rip people's necks off and arms off is just second to none. He's so good.
Crazy. He's I've never had a chance to roll. I got to get to Stratford more. And maybe I get a chance to, but it's tough. Like, I've got my set. I'm like, if I can make it these 3 days for sure, good. If I can schedule in a no-gi on those in between days through a day class, great. If I can make a Coach Ian on Saturday, bonus. But again, kids, wife, you have a life going on. I'm there primarily because I need to move. And then you just love it so much, you want to be there even more. Made it to yoga though. Aaron's doing a great job there. A couple more questions, Coach.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could roll or train with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Probably Mike and Tommy. So two of my teammates from a long time. They both passed away. But guys that
Okay.
came, like we got our purple belts together.
Oh, nice.
Both of them, like Tommy, maybe Kieran is like kind of at his level now, like as far as like anyways, Tommy was like the best jiu-jitsu athlete that has ever come out of Canada.
Wow.
He was terrifying.
Yeah.
And then Mikey, he was one of the main coaches in Toronto for a long time, and he was working at my other buddy's gym, like at Riverdale, in Toronto too. And so I don't know if you know him, but Nathan DeSantos, he's like the head coach of Toronto BJJ now. Like he's taken on that role.
Yeah.
Mikey was his best friend, brought him in, and Mike was like the most technical, best coach. Like unbelievable ability. Like if I had to have anyone, like even like George included, like George has a different style of coaching.
Yeah.
A lot of yelling, like a lot of, get you motivated. But like Mike would, like, he's more like a John Danaher. Like, he would just tell me exactly what I needed to do in that moment. Like I loved having him in my corner. And I remember once we just come off maybe Worlds or Pan Ams or something like that. And we've been training a ton of gi. We both we stayed for no gi.
Yeah.
And I reached for a cross collar grip, and he respected it. Like we were both so, like, I grabbed an imaginary grip and it worked. You know what I mean? Like he sat there and like went to and then I just burst out laughing, and he like just like they were like, oh, okay, we got to go home. We need too much jiu-jitsu today.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
those two guys for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very
Over
cool.
everybody.
Describe jiu-jitsu in one sentence.
The best, worst time you'll ever have. Yeah. This too shall pass. I don't know.
There's a lot. It's tough. I knew when I wrote it, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a tough one to answer. How do you answer it? Let's do this instead. There's a lot of people, I think they've seen, you've got a great, it almost becomes a cult following, right? The individuals that are part of the academies. We try and reshare as much as we can. If there's some, certain individuals are their profile pics are their ranks as they go through the time. Sean Waddy, right?
Yeah,
but
it becomes their whole identity. Yeah,
yeah, and Sean does it partially because he's joking around with it. And he's having a lot of fun, and I love him. I've known Sean for, oh God, I don't know, 35 years, somewhere in that neighborhood. And we roll together as much as we can. I got a couple pounds on him, and he uses that as his excuse all the time. But whatever. But I think that for those that sit outside of it, because they're not in that community necessarily, I'll reshare stuff. The other members will reshare stuff. Maybe they're questioning it. Maybe they're like, man, I just, I'd love to be able to do that, but I don't want to get hurt. Those guys are a bunch of bully. I mean, anyone that knows me knows, like, if I'm resharing something, like, I am the furthest thing from a bully. And Coach Reese he'll tell me, go harder, go harder, go harder. And I'm like, I'm not that guy. We'll see what happens in the tournament. I think everyone will be pleasantly surprised that I turn it up a notch, but I can't do that. And I think that outward individuals looking in, not knowing what's going on behind the doors, they're like, I'd love to do it. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I'm the person for that. How do you talk those individuals into at least giving it a try? So if someone in Woodstock or Stratford has been thinking about trying to do jiu-jitsu, but they feel intimidated walking through the doors, what would you say to them?
I think, the best way, I think, to convince people is just literally just to watch who is walking in and out of that gym and just be like, you watch, I mean, he's a bad example, but you watch Frank walk in and out.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, he's got, he's missing a couple fingers. He's 65 or however old he is, I mean, he's an absolute animal, but, and then again, like all the women that train with us at the same time, like the sheer abundance of kids of different, backgrounds that train there. I mean, I think if I were to give a little sales pitch, like the best thing about jiu-jitsu is that everybody can do it. Like I've taught fully blind people with cerebral palsy, like missing limbs. Anyone can actually do it and do it to a fairly high level. And because it does play into so many different strengths, right? Like we talked about it earlier, you have the ability of turning it into a game. Like it is a skill-based game, a technical sport. Like you can just refine your technique or even just your knowledge base to the point where you're just better than people. You can be the athlete. You can come in and like be like, you do it as more of like a fighter. And all of the other benefits that we discuss, like all of the physical benefits and whatnot. And at the end of the day, like you can go as hard as you want. Like I'm not going to be, I don't think any coach is going to be like yelling at you to work harder all the time. We'll chirp you. Like if you're being deliberately lazy, like we'll chirp you for sure. But like it's up to your usage. Like it's an open world game, like you make the game what you want it to be. And as long as you don't take yourself too seriously, I think you'll have a lot of fun doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. I love it. I think that makes a lot of sense. And, again, I can attest to, I saw the club in Stratford, walk by there, go to the diners in the neighborhood. And I'm like, man, Ashton, you get a little older. Maybe we can do this. And, it's the drive, and then it's the intimidation. And then it opens in Woodstock. And I think you had just started promoting it. I hadn't even seen it. And I was talking to Ashton about it. And I'm like, would you like to try that? Like, and he's like, yeah. And I could sense he's a little nervous, right? Because he was finishing up, God, I don't know how many years of hockey, 12 plus years straight hockey. And I'm like, you got to do something. Like you're not going to play hockey and not do anything. So, I said, maybe this is of interest. He's like, a club just opened in Woodstock. I'm like, what? I go, no, I already know about that club. It's, it's not doing it. He says, no, it's a new club. And I'm like, what? So we researched it. We're there, day 2 of opening. And I had originally said, I'll go with you because, I can sense you're nervous. And I saw Sean, and Sean's like, oh, you're joining? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a bit of an idiot, but let's go. And never look back, right? It's, yes, there's been injury. There's days, I'm older. I mean, bed should be 8:00, not right. But I'm showing up at jiu-jitsu at 7:00, and there's days you don't want to be there, but they are the best days that you could ever imagine, right? You show up tired, you're mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, and you're rolling. I mean, there's 13-year-old girls that beat me up, like, right, all the way to 65-year-old Olympic style wrestlers that beat me up. They all beat me up, coach.
It's never like jiu-jitsu it's so fun to be the nail,
it is. It really is.
Because at the end of the day, it's like and this goes for competition too, like if you're outmatched in jiu-jitsu, all you have to do is tap.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's still, it's like, it's the same win that the guy gets. But you never lose your own power. Right. Which is great. And the mentality is, and again, like what I was trying to tell, it's like when you tap, you're saying good job to the other guy. You're not saying I give up.
I find I do that even when we are rolling, if someone's passing my guard or doing this or getting a submission, I'm like, oh, good one. Nice. Right? I don't know if that's me talking myself off the ledge or what, but it makes me feel better.
No, that's valid for sure.
Listen, coach, it's I've kept you longer than I said I would, but it flowed, and I appreciate your time. I appreciate you carving out time. I hope people get to know you a little bit better and why Woodstock Jiu-Jitsu exists, also why Stratford exists. But just love chopping it up with you for the last hour and 45 minutes. It's been great.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and I think this podcast is a really, I wish Stratford would do something similar. Maybe they do.
Find a host. We can find a host. I can spin up a franchise.
It's like, Stratford. Moving from Toronto, I never look back. Like Stratford's my home, and it's beautiful, and we've been there a long time, and we have this amazing community that's there. Is that the whole reason I felt comfortable to open up Woodstock was because of the support of Stratford. And I hope that comes across in some of the things I said, but at the same time, like there is like Woodstock is a really unique place. Like the more time I spend there, the development, the growth, its location, even like being on that kind of like crossroads of those two main highways is kind of nutty, that I'm like, I don't understand how there isn't, another gym, like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's good. Like there's a boxing gym that's like opened
Yep.
up just
Yep.
recently
KO
too, which
room.
is
Yep.
great.
Yep.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, it's good.
Population growth is
Um,
here. We just finished the census. If you don't do the census, they'll send you multiple
yeah,
reminders, right?
yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
okay, I'll
I
get
got a
to
few
it.
of those.
It's the law. I know.
Yeah.
Okay. But I will be like you, interested to see what is the growth, because I had the mayor for the very first episode of This Is Woodstock. And, I think our sign, I haven't seen it in the longest time, but I think it still says 48,000 or something like that. But I think
Yeah, yeah.
we're encroaching like 55, 57, somewhere in there. So it's certainly higher than what that is, and we'll see what the census say. But listen, I appreciate you. I appreciate you joining. I appreciate the tutelage through jiu-jitsu and the opportunities that you provide. But I'll see you tomorrow night on the mats if you're there. You don't always
Yeah.
make all of them, but if you're there, I'll see you
No,
tomorrow night.
Fridays are like the sacrificial day for me, where I'm like, if I need to be able to get, the kids up to the cottage or do anything, like that Friday night sometimes gets sacrificed. So that's this Friday again. I need
It's
to,
life, man. You've got a life to live. Oh, my last question as well, before I forget, is it only white belts that buy and wear silly shirts that are related to jiu-jitsu?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a big thing. Like trying to convince people to wear like merchandise is especially when you don't wear it yourself, is kind of poor form.
Yeah, but you built a cool brand. We'll do another episode on Falker and why that exists. But listen, man, I appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I'm so fresh like the morning, mouth wide open like they yawning. Every time they see me, they in G-Shock. Homie, this is too far. Homie, I feel too alive.